Welcome to the first global community conversation with President Kirk Dominick of the World Federation of Youth Clubs. I am so excited to be here with you all today and to share a little bit more about what's happening with the World Federation of Youth Clubs. There's been a lot of really exciting change, some new staff, a new president who is on the line with us here today. So without further ado, I'd like to just go over a couple of quick housekeeping items and then we'll get started. So of course, this meeting is being recorded for those who are not able to join us today. Please share this recording later with your staff. We really want the World Federation of Youth Clubs community to feel informed and engaged, and so that you can receive this information too. So a recording will be sent to you and everyone who registered for this event following the meeting. We also have live Spanish interpretation today. So if you would like to listen to this session in Spanish, you can click on interpretation at the bottom of your Zoom screen and select English to Spanish. We also have live closed captions included in this session today. If you need any additional accessibility or language assistance, please contact me or admin@wfyc.org so we can make sure that our meetings are accessible for you. So without further ado, I am excited to ask you all to introduce yourselves and say hello in the chat box. So let's take just a minute, introduce yourself, share your name, your club name, and where you're joining us from today. Mike is joining us from South Africa. Hello, Mike. Thanks for joining us today. We have Demetrius from Athens, Greece. I see some folks on the call who I recognize. Rebecca from Ghana. We see Stephen from Ghana. Please continue to introduce yourself. Welcome, Leela from the Republic of Georgia. As you join, please continue to introduce yourself, share your name, your club location, and your club name. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and continue with the conversation, but please continue to introduce yourself as we go. So first, before we get started today, will you continue to introduce yourself in the chat? We wanted to take a moment to introduce you to the World Federation of Youth Clubs staff. So I'll go first. My name is Abby LeMay. I'm the Vice President of Global Impact Initiatives here at World Federation of Youth Clubs. I joined the team earlier this year and I oversee things like our conference, our webcast, our Promise Awards, and a range of other really exciting initiatives. I'm going to turn it over to Tony Galveo to introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tony Galveo. I am the new Program Operations Coordinator. I'm brand new to WFYC. I'm about to close out my first month on the team, and I assist Abby with everything she just mentioned. So that being said, I'll turn it over to Daniel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel DiCosmo. I'm the Data and Operations Assistant here at WFYC. I've worked here for about a year now, and I'm in charge of handling and organizing all the data that comes into the company. And I'll turn it over to Glenn to introduce himself.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Thank you, Daniel. Great to be here with all of you. I know others will join later. I've had the privilege of being with the World Federation since the inception of this in October of 2019, and well before that with Boys and Girls Clubs of America when we were part of the Global Assistance Program there. I'm the Senior Executive for Innovation and Enhancement. Prior to that, I had the privilege of being the President of the World Federation of Youth Clubs, and I'm thrilled that we have landed Kirk Dominick, who I've worked with for a long time in terms of being our Chief Executive Officer. And I'm not sure if Jose or Tim are on the call. If they are, we'll let them introduce themselves. If not, I'll fill in for them.
I don't think we have Tim or Jose on the call today.
I'll just do a quick 1-2 punch on Jose and Tim. Jose and I have worked together in this venture for now over 8 or 9 years. And Tim and I have worked together at Boys and Girls Clubs of America as well as Jose for 30 plus years together. So you have a great team of mission advancement team members who are well versed in youth development and assisting clubs and youth development organizations around the world. They've done it on a local, national, and now international level. And so each of us as mission advancement team members have a portfolio of organizations that we work with. And we're thrilled to work from a technical assistance plan that we put together for everyone and try to advance organizations to do even greater things than you're doing right now. Count on us at any time, reach out to us at any time, and please take advantage of all the resources that are available through the World Federation. Thank you, Abby.
Thank you, Glenn. And last but certainly not least is Kirk Dominick, our President and CEO of WFYC. So Kirk, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody. Good day, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kirk Dominick. I think I've been on the job maybe 60 or 90 days now. It has been an exciting adventure already. Before I get started on my remarks, I want to just take a minute and thank the rest of the WFYC team for the incredible foundation they've built over the first few years of our existence, particularly my good longtime friend, Glenn Permoy, who, as he shared, served as the president prior to my arrival and has certainly built a strong foundation for WFYC to build on. If you're not aware, we're now in 38 countries, over 3,500 sites worldwide, serving some 375,000 young people, 200,000 or so of whom you will serve every day in one of your locations. So I'm terribly excited about being here and about my leadership position. I want to, as quickly as possible, get to you and listen to you and hear your thoughts and concerns and questions and ideas about how we move forward together. I do want to share a few brief remarks. Let me say that I've had the opportunity to meet some of you directly via Zoom, Mike and Dimitri and some of the others who are on the call and some who are not with us today. And I've learned about the others through reading and from listening to the other staff. I'm keeping up with what you're doing. I'm very personally inspired and moved by your individual accomplishments. I'm very passionate about your work for very personal reasons. I grew up and have lived in the United States. When I was 12 years old, I walked into a youth club. For me, it was the Boys and Girls Club. For the first time in my life, I tell people that when I was 12 years old, the only thing I was really good at was making really bad decisions. And so I found the Boys and Girls Club as a 12-year-old, and people like you who worked in that club changed my life. It was truly a life-changing experience for me. And so I have spent the rest of my life in this youth development work, either with Boys and Girls Clubs or supporting other organizations to try to pay back the Boys and Girls Club or the Youth Club for what they did for me. So I'm excited to be here. I want you to know that our focus has not changed. Our focus is on serving you as our affiliates. We understand very clearly that you are the ones doing the work on the ground. And our purpose, our reason for being is to support you and to provide you with the knowledge and the resources and devote whatever time and energy we need to make you successful. I do want to hear from you. Speaking of which, I want to thank those of you who participated in our recent survey. I have been in your shoes where the surveys come and it seems like extra work. I promise you that when we send these requests for information out, it is so we can use the collective responses to get better. So thank you for taking time to complete the survey. I want to share a little bit about what we heard and what we'll do with that going forward. When you looked at those responses, here were some of the greatest requests or needs that were identified. One was more networking opportunities, which we certainly agree with. And so we're going to continue to build out opportunities like this for us to gather in small and large groups and learn and share with each other. In fact, our December webcast for the year end this year will be a networking webcast where we'll be able to break out into small groups and have some small group conversations. So we hear you there. Improved communication and language accessibility. Hopefully you've noticed that effective in July, we began live interpretation of our webcast and meetings like this global conversation. We will continue to add languages as we learn more about the most dominant needs there. Fundraising support, everybody likes to talk about fundraising. We will continue to do everything we can to help build your capacity to raise money. We will also be very focused on potential opportunities for joint fundraising, where we can identify resources that we may be able to pass through to you in the form of mini grants or other funding opportunities to support the important work that you're doing. But we understand that financial resources is a tremendous need. Tailored content for staff, board, and volunteers. We will continue to look for opportunities in our conference and in our webcast to provide specific training for folks in those different roles. And we will call on you at times to help share your best practices because we know the good work that you're doing on the ground. Go ahead, Adam. So just real quick, talk about some of the things that we're focusing on this year as we move forward. One is, you heard Glenn talk about the technical assistance plan, and I know that a number of you all as our affiliates are currently working with either Glenn or Tim or Jose on your annual reassessment of your organization, on your MAP assessment in the areas of board and staff and program and safety and technology. And I would encourage you to engage in that in a meaningful way. It's certainly a valuable tool to WFYC as it helps us identify your specific needs so we can work to meet those. But I think it's also a valuable tool for you to demonstrate to your boards and your staff and your communities and your supporters that your organization is committed to continual improvement. And I think sharing those benchmarks and milestones would be important. From a communication standpoint, we're making a small change to our newsletter approach. We are moving to a monthly communication just for you as affiliates that will have all of the information you need about webcasts and upcoming events and resources and tools that you can access. And then our official newsletter will become a quarterly newsletter that is really going to be more focused on sharing your stories with the public and getting the word out about the good work that you're doing. So I know that many of you, Stephen and others who are on this call, are really good about sharing your successes and pictures and videos and stories. I hope that you'll continue to do that and do so even more, because we want to do our part to get those out via social media, the website, other ways that we can, including our newsletter. Webcast, we talked about the year-end networking opportunities. Abby and her team have done a fantastic job of scheduling out webcasts over the next several months. We hope that you'll continue to share ideas that you think would be helpful. I'm excited to tell you about our conference, which will be in the spring of 2023. And this year we will have an in-person opportunity in addition to our virtual conference. We are working on a leadership conference here in Orlando, Florida, in connection with Boys and Girls Clubs of America's national conference, which will be held here in early May. Our plan is to offer a WFYC Leadership Institute just before the Boys and Girls Clubs of America conference, with an opportunity for you to stay over and participate in that conference as well. We understand that not everyone can make it, so we will continue to provide our virtual conference as well, which will happen a few weeks after our in-person Leadership Institute. So more to come on that, but we're very excited about the opportunity to offer both of those options. We continue to look for partnerships, whether those are programmatic partnerships or training partners or funding partners, any partnerships out there that we can identify that we believe would benefit you, our affiliates. We're going to continue to stay focused on that. I'll finish up by promoting the Promise Awards. I know many of you have been participating in that. And again, Abby and her team have done a wonderful job. It was very competitive this year, which is a good thing. We had a record number of nominations with 65 nominations to be considered for Promise Awards. We've identified 12 of those who will be recognized and 7 of those who will be actual Promise Award recipients. So those of you who are Promise Award recipients and have been notified, Abby asked me to remind you that it is still a secret and that we are not yet ready to reveal the winners. We will do that on September 20th at what promises to be a great Promise Award ceremony. And so we hope that you will join us. We will also use the Promise Awards presentations throughout the year to promote the good work that you're doing. And so I want to finish with a point on that, and then we want to hear from you. I shared earlier how impressed I am with your individual accomplishments and what I've learned about your individual clubs and organizations. Where I believe the real power of the World Federation and you and your organization lies is in our collective impact. And so you're going to hear us talk and you're going to see us work a lot this year on how do we collect and roll up the information about what you're doing so that, quite frankly, we can share with the world the impact that you're having globally. And when we do that, when we share the secret of what's going on within the World Federation of Youth Clubs because of you, I believe that we will get much better recognition, which will bring much stronger resources, programmatically, financially, public awareness. I think that is where the magic is. You all work very hard every day in your communities. And a big job for us is to help you get that word out. So you're going to see us this year working on a project around how we measure the impact of what you're doing locally and how we message that impact. And I know that some of you are doing that already. We've gotten great information and support already from the Club de Niños y Niñas of Mexico on what they're doing around impact. But that's going to be a big focus for us this year, because what we believe is that you all are doing incredible work, but not enough people know about it. And so we're going to make it our business to collect that information and share it out. So with that, I will say one thing on awareness. If you have not seen the announcement of our first global ambassador, last week we announced Karl Anthony Towns, who is an all-star NBA player here in the United States, whose heritage is from the Dominican Republic, who has agreed to be our first global ambassador. If you have not seen Karl Anthony Towns, or Cat as they refer to him, on social media, make sure you check it out. He released some pretty powerful video messages and has gotten great response already. We'll continue to look for other partners like Cat who could help us spread the word. If you have those relationships, please share those with us. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Abby because we want to hear your questions and thoughts and concerns.
Thanks, Kirk. And we will include some of that video and other information from our first global ambassador, Karl Anthony Towns, in the follow-up to this communication, so you can see it and share it with your team as well. So just a really quick reminder about the various programs and services that World Federation of Youth Clubs offers. Of course, there's many different kinds of support that our mission advancement team and our staff provide to the World Federation of Youth Club members. But just real quickly, Promise Awards is our annual recognition event that celebrates the accomplishments of leaders, programs, and youth who go above and beyond in their communities. So I hope you'll join us on September 20th as we celebrate the 7 award recipients and an additional 5 finalists who are making just such an incredible difference for the world. We also have a range of education initiatives, including that monthly webcast, our annual conference, and a resource library. And then in addition to that, we have our mission advancement team, which you all are very familiar with. And Glenn, would you like to share a few words about mission advancement or any other services that your team provides?
unmute here. Yeah, I think that most of our affiliates who have been active with us know the work of the mission advancement team. As I shared before, our educational initiatives, we're proud of having our webcast, our annual conference that both Abby and Kirk have talked about. We have a resource library that we're hoping to launch that and make that public to everybody. But right now, it's a great tool for our mission advancement team advisors, Jose and Tim and myself. So we have some best practices, a lot of those coming out of Promise Awards from the past, but also from our collaborators for good, as you'll see on the partnership and networking side. We learn a lot from our sister clubs. We learn a lot from our collaborators who share information, templates, ways that we can work together. And we use that as we work with our affiliate organizations as mission advancement team members to help you advance your organizations. So we're proud of doing that. We hope that this year we'll have an opportunity to extend some mini grants when there's an opportunity to help you take a project that's very important to you, that you're fundraising for, and see if we can help leverage that and let other people know about it, but also see if there's a way that we can bring some dollars to the table, maybe from some of our partners or collaborators. So Abby, that's kind of a nutshell. If anyone has any questions going forward, I'm glad to answer those as well.
Thank you, Glenn. So if any of these words sounded new to you today, Collaborator for Good, Sister Club, Webcast, or if you have any questions about any of these programs or initiatives, please reach out to myself, to Glenn, to Jose or Tim, or even our admin at WFYC.org email address, and we'd be happy to help connect you with any one of these services. So now for the exciting part. Not that this wasn't very exciting with lots of information, but we want to open the floor to you all to ask questions, to share any feedback that you'd like, and to just engage with our team. So Kirk, I'm going to turn it back over to you. And everyone who's on this call, you are welcome to type your message or question into the chat. If you don't want to send it to the whole group, that's okay. You can send a message directly to me and I can ask on your behalf. So take a minute and share any questions or concerns or topics that you want to learn a little bit more about today. So we did get a couple of questions over email before this meeting. So I am going to ask one question of Kirk or Glenn, whoever wants to answer this. What is a sister club, and how does a WFYC member create a sister club relationship?
I'll start, and Glenn, you jump in.
Okay.
So the Sister Club is an opportunity for Boys and Girls Clubs here in the United States to partner with one of the World Federation of Youth Clubs affiliates in another country. And that partnership really goes as far as the two parties agree. So there are sharing of best practices, joint staff training opportunities. Some clubs have connected their youth members virtually around gaming or around educational opportunities. These sister clubs have agreed to share best practices or resource that they have. I know that we have a couple of folks on with us today who are in sister club relationships. I would encourage this. I think it's good for the organizations. I think it's good for the young people. If you can extend the partnership to include connecting young people kind of in a virtual pen pal program, I think those are powerful opportunities. Glenn, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I'll just mention that we have at this point 12 sister club organizations. 11 of those, as Kirk indicated, are from the US, and they are matched up with organizations within the World Federation from around the globe that are interested in having someone speak with them on a fairly regular basis. It could be once every 6 weeks that the CEOs or other program staff talk to each other, exchange ideas, or send each other templates and information, send programs that they're sharing, all of those types of things. And those are taking place right now in the British Virgin Islands, in Panama, in the UK, as well, Manchester, South Africa, in Uganda, Greece, in Central America, in Albania, in Ireland, and in Ghana. And one of our sister clubs is not a US club, it is actually from the UK, and they are a sister club with Ghana. So it's not necessarily having to be a US-based Boys and Girls Club that does this. So, we are looking for those that have an interest in helping others around the globe. And as Kirk pointed out, not only helping each other from a programmatic or administrative standpoint, but also linking the young people together, kind of a virtual pen pal program or competitions, and with the hope that one day maybe there's the opportunity for young people to visit each other and staff to do the same. Could be staff exchanges or visits. And we've had some people do that over the years in terms of coming, whether it be to the US or somewhere else for vacation or tying in some training and taking advantage of having a sister club opportunity. So we welcome that. If you're interested in having a sister club, reach out to me. I will work with Tim and Jose, whether I'm your mission advancement team advisor or not, I'll work with them, and we'll see what clubs or organizations are interested in working with you. Thanks, Kirk.
Thank you both. That was some great information. So I have two more questions that have come in through the chat. The first one is from Mike at Boys and Girls Club of South Africa, who says, well done and congratulations on the global ambassadorship with Carl Anthony Towns. And Mike says that the Boys and Girls Club of South Africa and the basketball community is very excited. Can we engage with Kat on social media? And will he be available to visit any of us sometime?
So I'll jump in first only because I want to do something I did not do before, and that is to thank Glenn for bringing us this relationship with Carl Anthony Towns. This came about through a relationship that Glenn has been working and cultivating for a number of months. And so we're excited about how that has culminated. I would just say that Carl has demonstrated an interest in being as engaged as his schedule will allow. And Glenn, I'll let you touch on the details of that, but I think social media is certainly an appropriate way to engage with him.
Yeah, that's right, Kirk. Social media is right up his alley. He's a young guy, very innovative. I know he's produced the video for us that you've probably seen. If you haven't, check our website or check where our social media links. And we encourage you to share that with others. The more people know that we have an individual like Kat working with us and engaging and interested in our young people around the globe, the better it is for all of our affiliates. I think that he's going to do much more than we anticipate. And again, to Kirk's point, given his time and availability, it's very difficult during the season. He has a definite interest in the Dominican Republic, where we do not have an organization at this point. His mother is, who has passed away about 1.5 years ago, is from the Dominican. So he has a genuine interest in trying to help not only the children there, but throughout the world. So we expect some big things from Carl Anthony Towns. We know he's a wonderful young man, and we look forward, as Kirk said, to having others engage with us in that role.
Thank you. Great information. So I have a couple more questions. The first question was a private message that came through asking about support from WFYC for curriculum development for youth programming. Glenn or Kirk, if one of you can speak to that.
So I think yes, we want to continue to support the development and quite frankly, the identification of program curriculum that is out there now that has been tested and is evidence-based and has some demonstrated impact behind it. That is one of the greatest benefits to our Collaborators for Good program that I see, because these are other youth development organizations who are in the business of developing and testing youth development curriculum in the key areas. And so I think that's one of our best opportunities, is to continue our Collaborators for Good. We've also had conversations internally about how do we identify what is the right core base of curriculum and program areas that we should focus on, understanding that within your affiliates will do much more than that core base, but we will continue to, I think, to work to identify and pilot those evidence-based program curriculum that we know can make a difference. Glenn, do you want to touch on anything there?
Yeah, I'll just mention that the origination of the Promise Awards concept came from the fact that we know a lot of great programs are taking place through our affiliates around the globe. And we want to be able to share those programs so that others can duplicate those programs in their location. And so it's very important that participation in the Promise Awards in all of the areas, staff and youth, especially programs, is important. And whether you're a finalist, a winner, everybody's a winner in applying for that, because we give you the local recognition, regardless of whether you're selected as a finalist or not. But it also allows people in different parts of the world to see what you're doing and say, wow, we could do that with our children. So we'd love to have more of that from you. And we don't want to wait on just the Promise Awards. If you share your types of programs with your mission advancement team advisor, Jose, Tim, and I will see that we may be asking you questions a little bit more about that program so that we can help others implement that elsewhere.
Great. We have another question in the chat from Layla. She says, are you planning to organize a working meeting between affiliates to know each other or to share an experience, planned joint online activities for youth? This would be very interesting for my organization.
I think going back to what we heard from the survey around this same idea of more networking, I think we're committed to making that an area of focus even more so going forward. I think things like the December webcast, where we will use that as a networking opportunity. I think if we can work together as a staff and with your help, identify those of you who are of like size or like focus, or who may have some common best practices, I think there are things we can do to link you in even smaller groups throughout the year. I think it's a great suggestion. I think it's a great question. I think it's one of the real benefits to you all of being part of the World Federation, is having that small and large group networking. So the answer is yes, we do plan to organize those type meetings, beginning with, if not before, our December networking webcast. But I would also say that we hear you that it is a priority area, and we will continue to try to be innovative in ways to make that happen. If you have specific requests, or you know of specific groups within the World Federation or otherwise that you would like to be connected with, we're also certainly happy to facilitate those individual requests and small group connections. So agree that it should be an area of focus. Thank you for bringing it up, but know that it is something that we are working towards.
So we still have some time. Does anyone have additional questions, or if not a question, any topics that you would like to hear more about? Demetrius, I see your hand is raised. Do you want to ask a question?
Well, it's not really a question, but thank you. And thank you for this session and discussion. It's very fruitful. What I wanted to say, and to other affiliates of the World Federation, is with regards to the Sister Clubs initiative, I want to say that our organization, Field of Life, here in Greece, has seen dramatic progress, very, very well based, with information that was really invaluable, by having as a sister club the Pickerton Club from the Madison Square Boys and Girls Club in America. And I've seen how much a sister club can benefit an organization who's trying to evolve. And therefore, and thank you, Glenn, for suggesting that 3 years ago. It's very helpful. So if you guys don't have a sister club, look into it. It's very beneficial, and it's an amazing experience.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Demetrius. Yeah, and just a reminder, if you are interested in a sister club relationship, Glenn is the person to talk to about that. He or your mission advancement advisor can help you get connected. Any other questions or thoughts or topics that you'd like to talk about before we wrap up today?
Abby, I'd just like to share with the group that, please don't be shy. I don't know a lot of them that are shy, but please don't be shy throughout the year. If you have an idea, a concept, a thought, the only bad ones are the ones that aren't shared. We just want to hear from you what's relevant, what's current, what you're thinking about, what you're facing, or what you think can benefit not only your organization, but others. And it could be a simple email saying you want to talk about this, or you have an idea you want to share. It doesn't have to wait until a webcast or a session like this. Our power, as Kirk said, is being able to enhance and advance what you already do. And the only way to do that, we can't do it internally. We do it with those that are right now on the firing line, serving kids and doing the best things possible in your locales. And those can be duplicated other places. So please share your thoughts, your ideas, your concepts, things that you need help with, but also things that could be helpful to others.
Well said, Glenn. Thank you. Well, we are always available if you do have additional questions. You can reach out to admin, ADMIN, at WFYC.org, or any of our staff or mission advancement team advisors. So as we wrap up today, just a couple of closing thoughts. We love to hear your feedback. Not everyone feels comfortable sharing feedback directly. So we have a brand new way for you to provide any thoughts that you want to share anonymously. We have a very simple 1-question form that we're going to email to you that just asks for any feedback that can help WFYC grow. Of course, if you want to share that feedback directly, we would love to talk with you one-on-one about your experiences, what you'd like to see, what you maybe need more help in. We're here to help and to listen. If you have any questions about the session today, you can always reach out to me or any of your mission advancement team advisors. We encourage you, if you have not done so recently, to schedule some time with Glenn, Jose, or Tim to check in on your mission advancement plan, talk about sister club opportunities, and just troubleshoot and talk through any issues or any successes that you want to share and talk about. As a reminder, we have webcast most months of the year. September, we do not have a webcast because of the Promise Awards, but our next webcast is coming up in a couple of weeks on August 25th, and that is all about perfecting your presentation skills. Of course, we've mentioned a few times, but please save the date for September 20th. It's a Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's when we're going to announce and reveal the finalists and the award recipients for this year's Promise Awards. And I can tell you it is going to be a very exciting program. And of course, if you don't already, please follow us on social media. We'll include links to our social media accounts in our follow-up email. That's a great way to stay connected and to get engaged and to learn about what other clubs in the World Federation of Youth Clubs Network are up to. So we are going to wrap up for today. Kirk, I want to turn it back over to you.
Abby, can I go one more thought?
Yes.
And my good friend Mike McTarren in South Africa reminded me of this, that we on the networking and reaching out and helping each other, when we have regional opportunities like 14 organizations or so in Africa, we're looking to pull those together on Zoom calls or whatever, so we get a little more interaction right there from that region. So that's one way to look at it, but I know that there's ways to reach out beyond your region. But one of the things that was exciting is that when Botswana first came on, they were close enough where they actually went to South Africa and visited the club and spent 2 or 3 days on site. And that's another great opportunity, as Dimitri talked about, with having a chance to come in from Greece and spend time at Madison Square organization. If you're close enough by to others, go by and visit them if you can, and do that kind of staff exchange. It goes a long ways. Thanks.
Thank you. Kirk, any closing thoughts?
Only to say thank you again to the WFYC team, of course, but to our affiliates. The work you're doing is amazing. We will continue to do everything we can to support that and enhance that. As Glenn and others have said, you all have your points of contact, but if any of us can be helpful to you in any way, please always be comfortable reaching out directly and share any ideas or thoughts or needs that you may have, and we'll do our best to work on those. So thank you for your time today. More importantly, thank you for what you do on an ongoing basis.
Thank you all so much. We hope you have a great rest of your day. We will send the follow-up information, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, on behalf of the World Federation of Youth Clubs team, thank you for joining us today and for being a fantastic partner to the World Federation of Youth Clubs. And of course, thank you for all that you do for youth in your communities.